flying by.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. How's everyone doing today?
Good morning.
Awesome. I call this meeting of Lake Mary Toastmasters Club 6440 to order. Before we begin, please silence your cell phones. Mike. I would like to ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our club mission is to provide a supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence. And today we get to see a fine example of that since we have a few special guests, Mark. And to introduce them, I would like to also welcome our Toastmaster for the day, Julia. Woo!
Welcome guests. Always love my Tuesday mornings to see everyone here, and always starts my day out wonderful. Today's theme is aspirations, and I thought what better, it's that 6-month period, a little over 6 months, and we start out the year with having goals, and now it's 6 months into it, a lot of times that kind of falls by the wayside. So this is to get it back into gear, thinking about what your dreams, what your goals are, what your aspirations are. We have a special guest speaker today. Mark Guy has aspirations to become the International Speech Contest winner. He's halfway there, probably further than halfway there. He's going to be going to Las Vegas the end of this month, where he's competing with the best to perform his speech today. So I'm so happy that you're here, Mark. Welcome to Lake Mary Toastmasters. I have a couple updates on the schedule. I'd like to see if Stephen Morgan can be our general evaluator this morning.
Okay.
And also, Macarena is not here yet. So, Tony, could I have you sit in as grammarian this morning?
Sure, I will try it out.
I know, nothing like just to hit right in there and grab it. So if you can sit next to Mike, Mike will lead you astray there.
No,
Sure. Maybe you want to ask Richard.
Yeah.
On the role of grammarian. We have a full schedule this morning, and as always, we are right into it. So we're going to start with introducing our technical table, starting out with Tony, our grammarians filling in for us. So Tony, on the agenda is the word of the day. If you can just let us know on the back of the sheet what your role is as grammarian, that would be great.
All right. Should I stand up too?
Yes, sir.
Always.
Thank you.
All right.
As a grammarian, it is my function to select a word of the day to help build members' vocabularies. Each member, when called upon to speak, it is encouraged to use the word of the day. Other members may gently tap or rap?
Either one. So
Okay, may gently rap on the table when they hear a member use the word. Do we have the word of the day around here? Zeal.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Thanks,
it's
Matt.
That's what I'm looking for. Zeal.
Zeal.
And then I'm there.
Zeal and zest.
In addition, I will be listening for any errors in grammar as well as excellent word selections. I will also be noting any colorful thoughts or phrases members might use. During the evaluation portion of the meeting, I will present my reports.
All right, thanks.
Thank
And our timer, welcome back, Mike Hughes.
It is with much zeal I get to read off my card, so I did. My function is to time the speakers, evaluate the table topics, participants, ensure the timing requirements, demonstrate the timing lights, otherwise known as cards. We haven't updated our cards yet. We got green, we got yellow, we got red. If I throw it at you, it means you're taking too much time. So, what are we doing?
I think they're all 5 to Oh, 4 to 6 for stuff.
Everything's 4 to 6.
The others, the
No,
other two.
Mark 5 to 7.
Mark's 5 to 7.
Mark and Ernst are 5 to 7.
Yeah.
All right. So Ernst is 5 and Mark, you'll see green, 6 yellow, 7 red. Stephany, we go over.
He's back.
And then I'll report, give you guys a report at the end. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mike. All right. And last but not least, our wonderful Sergeant at Arms, Mr.
Oh,
Sam
thank you.
Haley, is our all-counter.
As all counter, it is my function to listen for filler words such as you know, so, okay, and any other words that you might use as fillers or audible pauses. If you are to make these offenses, our treasurer with great zeal is waiting for your funds. It is 5 cents an offense. I will give you my report at the end of the meeting.
Thanks, Sam. All right. Our next speaker, competent communicator Ernst will speak about a process we should all use in our life to avoid disappointments. Working out of the entertaining speaker manual, A Dramatic Talk. Please welcome Ernst as he speaks about caveat emptor, buyer beware.
How's this for an international speech contest? Russian and German.
Hey!
Caveat emptor, a Latin phrase. Translated means, let a buyer beware. Most often we use this approach and phrase in real estate transactions. Madam Toastmaster, fellow members, and honored guests, using caveat emptor prior to the purchase of a product or a service will save you a lot of money, frustration, and disappointment. I just recently used this approach prior to hiring a sales and marketing manager for our company. One day, kind of late, I Googled her name, only to see very salacious pictures on the internet. And I'm not going to share the name, Mike. A year and a half ago, I joined the Sanford Chamber of Commerce. And what I'm about to say about the marketing and sales of product in no way has any reflection upon the Sanford Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce are there to enhance their membership, to create business opportunities, and sell product and create wealth for their members. Depending where you are located, whether Chicago or Orlando, you might have startup companies, individuals, small, medium, or large-sized companies being represented by the Chamber of Commerce. Of course, in Chicago, you have very large companies. Here in Orlando, smaller, and in Sanford, very small ones. During the meeting at the Sanford Chamber of Commerce, each member has the opportunity to stand up and in a 1, 2, 3 sentences kind of a spiel, tell them about their company and tagline. For the company I represent, I stand up and say, Ernst, Operations Manager for Gita Sales and Associates Realtors. We very professionally represent home buyers, home sellers in real estate transactions. Home buyers and home sellers with Gita Sales and Associates are always number one. This is a pretty straightforward tagline, non-controversial. Then there's the other company which comes to mind. It's a pest control company. It's called Danny Tiller's Pest Control. So the owner gets up and says, Danny Tiller's Pest Control. We kill household pests, rodents, yard insects, and bugs. And when pests see Tiller's, they yell out, watch out, Tiller's is going to kill us. Danny Tiller's, professional killer at large. A very good company. I've used them. No caveat emptor needed. And the next two companies I'm mentioning, I'm going to slightly changed their name for pretty obvious reasons. The next company is called the Great Juice Nuts Company. Their name to fame is 17 fruits and vegetables in one capsule. Imagine that. Their tagline is, the next best things to fruits and vegetables. One of the ladies who gets up and says, or claims that their product cures just about everything, including advanced stage cancer. Last week, she got up and said that one of the people who used their product and had advanced stage cancer is now cancer-free. Whoever listens to Clark Howard? Anybody? Come on, somebody must be listening to Clark Howard. If you were to mention that, the consumer warrior, if you would mention that during his show, in the background you would hear bells and whistles going off and bombs, meaning caveat emptor should be used when using or buying this product. In the spirit of full disclosure, the person she's talking about happens to be my neighbor. And yes, he's cancer-free. But was it because of Juice Plus, or the advanced chemotherapy he used, or the alternative treatment he bought from Germany and the ozone treatment he used? Now, I have no problems with the product. But was it their product or the $1 million his insurance company spent on advanced chemotherapy or the alternative treatments? You are the judge. The other company is called the International Telecommunication Company. Their name to fame is, we saved you 20 to 30% switching you over to a different cell phone carrier or internet connectivity. After listening to their pitch for about 1.5 years, I finally decided and asked them to give me a proposal to have the cell phones of our 4 management people switched over to their recommended carrier. From the time I asked for the proposal until I got the proposal, until I got the wrong cell phones, until I sent back the wrong cell phone and got the right ones, until they finally switched the service from a great Verizon connectivity service to a not so good T-Mobile service. This was nothing but a comedy of errors. If I was not right in the middle, it would be really funny. How many of you ever have bought a product or service and were thoroughly disappointed after you received it? Somebody must have. Show of hands. Okay. It wasn't just me alone. Full disclosure, I'm not a tech guru. And according to my gray hairs only, I'm a wise old man. A sage, the Greeks so eloquently say, but what the hell do they know? They're broke. Anybody Greek in here? If what I'm explaining, what I'm sharing with you right now, there is a process out there which is very high tech, something you should always use. It's called Googling. Now, I don't know, I've not checked the Webster Dictionary whether that's an actual word, but the grammarian maybe is going to check prior to them. But if I had used Googling prior to switching the service, such as T-Mobile consumercomplaints.com, I would have seen the 2,150 complaints on consumeraffairs.com. Or I would have seen the website called tmobile.pissedconsumers.com. And I would have made a more informed decision. or at least the company selling the service should have done caveat emptor prior to selling a decision. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, and honored guests, people have lost billions of dollars buying services and products by not using caveat emptor. May I suggest or remind you of Bernie Madoff? If you don't know who he is, you need to Google him on your way out. Not everything which glitters is gold. If it sounds stupidly true, it probably is. If it walks like a duck and squawks like a duck, it's a duck, or frog, or hype. Madam Toastmaster.
All right.
Thank you, Ernst. Buyer beware, man. All right, a minute on the clock for evaluations, please. I see the guest book. Our final speaker this morning is working out of the Competent Communications Manual, the first speech, the Icebreaker, round 3. She claims that much like Microsoft Windows 10, she's a newer, better version of her former original self. Here to share a little bit about her journey is DTM, that's Distinguished Toastmaster, Stephany Byrne, on why I didn't want to be a Christian. Please welcome Stephany Byrne.
Shall I pass the collection plate now?
Oh, where's Gus when you need him?
A young nun was about to take her final vows. Having a change of heart, she arranged a meeting with Mother Superior. Mother Superior, concerned over the dilemma, said, "Sister, what is wrong?" She says, "I've decided to leave the order. I intend to become a prostitute." Fainted. Mother Superior fainted dead away. Once she was revived, she said, "Sister, perhaps I didn't hear you correctly. Tell me again, why do you want to leave the nunnery?" Once again, the young nun said, "I want to become a prostitute." Fainted again on the floor. After much sprinkling and what have you, she was revived and said, "Perhaps I'm not hearing correctly. Please tell me one more time, why do you want to leave this fine order?" And once again, the young nun said, "Because I want to become a prostitute." The Superior breathed a blessed sigh of relief and said, "Thank heaven, for a moment I thought you said a Protestant." While this may be a joke to you, it very much echoed my sentiments about religion back in the day. I had no desire to read the Bible, go to church, or associate with anyone who did. Why is this, you ask? Well, I found the Bible confusing and conflicting, church people shallow, narrow, pedantic, boring. I thought it was a religion of people who were hopeless and destitute, who had very few options in life, who, down to their last nickel a dime, started clinging to Jesus to help me.
I didn't want to be one of them. I found nothing attractive about that. I went to great lengths to make sure that I didn't hear anything that they had to say. I actually had on my apartment door in New York a sign which read, "No salesmen, solicitors, poll takers, or religious crusaders." I wanted to make sure no one ever confronted me and the way I lived. I didn't think that I lived such a bad lifestyle. I wasn't a conniver, I wasn't dishonest, I didn't cheat or steal. Not too much cheating. I liked life the way it was. But being an intelligent person, then and now, I knew that if I was presented with irrefutable logic or proof, that I'd be forced to validate it and perhaps evaluate my life. So I went to these lengths, never to hear, did not want to be confronted with a three-letter word, sin. I ignored everything, made up my own brand of religion, and did exactly as I pleased, and it suited me. Life was fine, life was good. I avoided funerals, church weddings, family reunions, because there were lots of preachers and what have you in my family, and they didn't have alcohol, and if alcohol wasn't there, I wasn't. This went on for many, many years. I guess one day God got tired of my nonsense, and despite my best efforts, people came and had the temerity to give a witness to me. Oh yeah, that's good for you, but not for me. I did not want to lose my zest, my zeal, my sparkle for life. I didn't want to become like them. I liked my life fine. But one day, it got to me. It sank in, and it made sense. Remember, I'm a logical person. And although you cannot use logic to figure God out, something kicked in to tell me that there was a better way to live. Didn't want to do this. Didn't want to turn my life around. Didn't want to lose anything. But I'm here to tell you I lost nothing, and I gained everything. Irrefutable, indisputable, undeniably better than I had before. Life was good, but it is better now. Madam Toastmaster.
What a zeal we had in every speech today. Amazing. Thank you, speakers. And can we have a minute on the clock for Stephanie's evaluation? Fine.
That was during the,
Well, they made me pay.
Thank you, Mike. All right, now it's time. Beware. Fire. Toastmasters, beware. It's time for table topics. All right, and here to be our table topic master, please welcome to the lectern Ms. Alexandra Balda.
Thank you, Julia. Who remembers the movie The Bucket List? Only one person?
Seriously?
Really? He was yeah, Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman. It was about two terminally ill cancer patients, and they decided to escape the hospital to do list of aspirations. That is called the bucket list, pretty much. And they wanted to fulfill all those aspirations before they kick the bucket or die. Tell us about one thing that you want to do. It could be a skill, event, or experience before you kick the bucket, Stephen.
Yes.
Madam Table Topics Master, there are many things that I tend to think about as to what I would like to be doing that I'm not doing at any particular moment. As all of us, I'm sure, experience often from a day-to-day basis. I would like to be in the position of being able to help people in ways that I have capabilities but really don't have many of the opportunities, especially like the hypnosis work that I've done and the training I've got there, the ability to be able to handle audiences. It'd be fun to be able to help a large group of people to be able to overcome their own fears, their own restrictions that they have holding them back. To be able to help people achieve the potential that they've been aiming for. And some of you may recall one of the older contest speeches I've given, the one that's all in rhyme, the potential catalyst. Because as it turns out, that's what I end up being. It's also why I end up being in Toastmasters, because by being able to help give the feedback and give everyone the chance to see from different perspectives and learn a bit about how they may be able to break past their barriers to the potential that they are holding back. I would love to be able to release all that, because if we all had the opportunity to see our potential released, imagine what kind of a world that would be. Madam Table Topics.
Thank you. On the same note, the bucket list. Tell us about a place you always wanted to go in the world and why, Kerri?
Only one. I pretty much want to see everything I've ever read about. So that's pretty much everything. I want to go on a safari in Africa. I want to go to Australia. I want to go all over Europe and see, the Colosseum, and go to Athens and see the Parthenon. I've been to London, so I don't need to see, Buckingham Palace or anything. I already did that. But I really want to see everything. I have tentatively planned a trip for next year going to Europe, so hopefully I will see some of the things that I've always wanted to see. So.
Thank you. And I think we have one more. Okay, perfect. Tell us about a skill you wanted to learn before you kick the bucket, Macarena.
To learn before I kick the bucket. Well, thanks to Groupon, I've taken on many hobbies. Archery, dancing, I just recently did flying trapeze.
Wow.
How to properly fish. And actually catch fish.
Really?
I can teach them. I don't have much luck. I never catch anything. How lovely that.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Really, man, fishing, I would have never known.
Seriously, trapeze to fish. Okay.
Trapeze, I can see.
I do that.
Okay, now it's time, actually the most important part of Toastmasters is hearing the feedback feedback on how we did in a presentation mode. And here to provide the general evaluation of that portion of our meeting is Mr. Stephen Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Now that we've had the opportunity to see our prepared speeches and our evaluators have had a chance to prepare, now it's time to see what they have to tell us with all the zeal they have prepared for us. Jorge, you have one of the most interesting tasks that you'll ever get to do as an evaluator. Taking on a district champion and getting ready for international. Please welcome Jorge Brigley.
No pressure, right? Thank you, Master Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and especially this morning, Mark. Thank you for coming and sharing that speech with us this morning. I think just going down the line here from the evaluation, starting out with content, I think the development of the speech had a very effective structure. You came out here suited up with a ski jacket, and even the transition away from the ski jacket wasn't distracting. You did it very smoothly in a way that wasn't distracting at all. I do like the use of analogies throughout the story. The fact that you started out with the skiing. I thought the transitions were good. The transition from the ski story into the story about your marriage, into then the story about your family and guilting you. What I would have liked to see more out of that is maybe the ski story, I feel, was very rich in detail. And then as the speech went on, I feel like when you talked about your marriage, I got a little bit less detail. And then when you talked about your family, I got a little bit less detail. I would have liked to maybe hear about different ways that they guilted you. You could maybe expand a little bit there, or maybe talk a little bit more about what happened with the marriage. Maybe, I don't know if you wanted to go into that or how much you wanted to go into that, but just a little bit. I just felt like each story maybe had a little bit less detail than the previous story. But I still like the flow and the structure and the transition. Very clearly defined intro and conclusion. I like the quote at the end, the Churchill quote that led into that whole conclusion paragraph essentially there. I thought all that was very well done. And even the idea of the speech and the originality of the speech, I know it's almost like the flip side of ambition. A lot of people come out and talk about the virtues of being very ambitious and why it's important to be very ambitious and push yourself. And this speech kind of takes the contrary view of don't be so ambitious that you skip over a lot of things and aren't prepared for the task at hand, or don't jump into things without being prepared. So it's almost a cautionary tale to being ambitious, which I thought was really original. You don't really hear that a lot. You really get a lot of people pushing you into things and not a lot of people telling you, well, go into it prepared. I thought you used the room very well, lots of eye contact. The volume was good. I would just say it was good for this room. Bring it up, obviously when you're in a bigger room, but I'm sure you know that. There was a lot of good voice inflection. Maybe you could give the characters a voice, especially when you talked about Inga. Maybe you could add a little accent to her. I thought that would maybe add a little bit of character there. I would like to mention maybe watch your neutral stance. I know sometimes when you aren't using your hands, sometimes they come down to the side and your shoulders tend to drop a little bit. Just make sure to keep your shoulders back a little bit when you're in that neutral pose. But I thought all the stories were good. It helped build that personal connection. The connection you had with the story was very helpful. The analogies helped to connect that. Good use of words, languages, good word selection. A couple of misused tenses, I think maybe the grammarian might mention. But overall, fantastic speech. I look forward to seeing it develop. Thank you.
Well done, Jorge. Now we get to hear Kerri give us her evaluation of Ernst's speech. Please welcome Kerri Bird.
General Evaluator, Toastmasters, and guests, and especially Ernst. And really liked the topic, the buyer beware. It's something I think that everyone can relate to. Most people have either been in that situation or will be in a situation where they needed to pay attention to what they were buying, what they were getting, ordering, especially with houses. You never know what you get sometimes in the walls that you can't see. I think that I could clearly picture the people at the introducing themselves and their products. Like I could picture someone standing up going, "Yes, my little pill, it cured cancer." Now, I mean, most people hopefully think that that's quite not exactly what happened, but I could actually picture them. I could definitely picture the Tillis people. I've played softball against them before, so I know exactly who they are, and so for me that worked. I thought you had good body language. One thing I think that you could work on a little bit is the vocal variety. If you have points that are a little bit softer, then when you make the big point at the end, when it's louder, it'll be a bigger difference. That's really one of the only things that I think you need to work on. I really liked the conclusion with all of the little sayings, and I thought it was organized well, and I can't wait to hear your next thing.
Thank you, Kerri. Now evaluating Stephany's speech. Please welcome Martin Bell.
Good morning, Toastmasters, and yes, good to be with everyone today. So, as a Roman Catholic, it was with great zeal that I look forward to evaluating Stephany. Where do I begin? It asks in the evaluation, what strong points does a speaker already have? Where do I begin? Stephany, throughout all your speeches, you have a great way of grabbing our attention and bringing us into the story immediately. She tells stories very well, right? And then she has a great tagline or punchline, right? She's talking about the story of the nun, and she's like, "No, I'm not a prostitute. A Protestant," right? Screw them, right? She also has a great way of talking about herself, right? In the story. We can all relate to perhaps being in situations, right, with family or with others where we just don't connect. And so I think she does really well at getting us all to relate within the body of her stories. And then for effect, you did it again today, you keep going off with 2 or 3 or 4 words, right? Irrefutable, undeniable, and whatever. And those create very good effect, and her vocal variety does very well to keep us entertained, right, and engaged throughout. And so I just have to ask if there's a couple of things to ask about improving the speech. I was looking for more reasons on why we shouldn't be Christian, right? We're all hopeless, like useless. We have few options in life. Clinging to Jesus. I was just looking for about 12 or 14 more reasons there, Stephany. No, but seriously, just perhaps one. When creating a story with 2 different folks, maybe it might be good just to be in one pose for like the nun, and then just take a second and be in another pose for the other with a slightly different voice. That's just one more. And then I know Mike was really eager on the time, but I think if you had more time, we would have been very entertained to understand or hear a few points of how your life is better. I think you probably get into a few examples of that. Maybe you are now getting sloppy drunk at your family. I thought it was a great speech. I always enjoy them. Thanks.
We had to take a long
Now we can take a deep breath and hear from our technical tables. Begin first with our timer, who's been having lots of fun.
Yeah.
He wants his chance to speak. Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, very ready for 59.6. Mark, 6:12, right on time. Ernst, 9 minutes. Yeah, it was bad. 9:25 actually. Hurt my feelings. You almost got a card thrown at you. All right, Stephany, 4:58. Stephen, 133, a little long on the table topics, but it's a good one, so I let it slide. Kerri, 43, Mac, 40, Jorge, 311. A little wordy. Kerri, 143, and Martin, 240, right on time, and that is my report. Thank you.
I'm used to 1 to 2 minutes.
I know.
Our hog counter, Samuel, how do we do with those?
Alrighty, so Macarena, just one pause there, which I think might have taken up a bit of the time. Mark, we had one so, one and one slight double clutch. It was very slight when you were talking on the transition of where's the camera. You repeated, I don't know if that was intentional or what you were trying to plan with that one, so something I wanted to bring to your attention. Ernest, we had two uhs, two ums, or excuse me, why do I keep saying Ernest? Because he's true. One so, one but, one and, 3 tongue clicks. You did something with the S's on the beginning. They were almost like pauses, but they were extending.
Like
Yes.
snakes?
Yes, something like that. And 3 double clutches.
Snakes?
Stephany, 1 Alexandra, 1 double clutch. Jorge, 1 1 but, 3 ands, 1 pause, and 4 double clutches. I think you got a little nervous there. Alexandra, just 1 double clutch. Then Martin.
Wow.
Love you, buddy.
Buddy Martin.
We have 18 uhs, 1 1 so, 1 double clutch, and you kept on saying right a lot, which you had 8 of those. I don't know if we charge you for those or how that works.
Why not?
Steven, just 1 and Kerri, you as well. We have 3 ums, 2 you knows, 5 so's, 2 buts, 2 ands, 2 tongue clicks, and 4 double clutches. That is my
No IOUs.
And then we get to hear from our grammarian, Tony.
All right, Tony.
It is with great zeal that I present my report to all of you. Hey, now we're out of the way. So,
Hold on that, guys.
it's funny for me being grammarian because for me, I never try to correct someone's grammar. I always try to understand the message behind the words. So, in that case, for my report, it's going to sound like everyone did perfect. Corrections.
Except they should have done it perfectly.
We accept you.
Perfectly. For Mark, I don't know if you use the word zeal. I'm still learning everyone's name, so I don't know where Mark is around here. There we go. You did? You use it now. I do like how you use the phrase, are you skipping ahead or stopping to pay attention and listen? You kept restating that point. I thought that was good. Ernst, I don't know if I heard the word zeal or not. I don't think I did. No zeal.
I'm paying already. I'm paying ahead.
I do like how you also use the word caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. And then I also did search for the Google definition, and it basically says search for information about someone or something. And that can apply for everyone, that they can use that word. Alexandra, I don't know if you used the word zeal. You did? Okay, good. Stephen, I don't know if you used the word zeal during your table topic speech, but I remember using it up here, so that's good. Kerri, I don't remember if you used it during table topics. No.
Definitely not.
Shots fired.
Actually, coming back to it, I like also how Stephen said, imagine a world where everyone can be released to their full potential. That phrase stood out to me a lot. Macarena, I don't know if you use zeal or not. No zeal. Jorge, I don't know if you use the word zeal. No zeal. No one likes that word zeal today. Martin, you did use the word zeal and have. Timer Mike, you used the word zeal. Sam, I don't know if you used it.
I used it.
You did? Okay. You did? Okay. And I used it too, so I'm happy. That's my report.
For a general evaluation of the meeting, Everything has gone rather smoothly. Ernst, yes, you did run over, but since I apparently was given 4 minutes just to start the general evaluation section, then we made up the time right there. That's what was on the agenda, as it turned out. Speech has done well. The technical table did their jobs fine. Table topics, Alexandra, good topics. Don't call the evaluators. Kerri?
Oh.
General evaluator's not so bad. But if you have other choices, you did choose Mac, the one person who didn't have a speaking role, so good choice for that. For the evaluations, good job with, for the most part, keeping things in sandwich methods. Jorge, I think you had like a 7-layered sandwich, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Interesting stuff, though, to provide. For Martin's, make sure that just put the positive stuff before you get to the conclusion. Don't make your conclusion your last positive part. And by the way, we're good from... I'm not going to go there for now. I just love the way you were pointing out Stephanie's word choices, but then of course I did your own list with whatever. But that's what I have for general evaluation, Madam President.
From one extreme to the other. Good stuff. All right, so where is the schedule for next week? Is that going around? Look on the desk.
Probably Kerri.
It's right here.
Oh, see what happened there?
And while that's going around, I'd like to introduce our guests and hear feedback on what they thought of our meeting, starting with our special guest, Mark Guy.
Thank you, Julia, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I love this room because it's curved. I never seen the room like that.
A little challenging setup, but
I just want to thank you for having me and giving me the gift of your time and feedback. This is what Toastmasters is all about, helping each other to grow. And I learned a lot from this speech. And as you know, speeches grow and evolve. So thank you for your feedback. It's really priceless. And
awesome. Well,
I welcome you to one of my clubs.
awesome. Well, thank you. Make sure that form that he provided to get feedback goes around back to Mark, so that or the informal evaluations, so everybody gets theirs. And we also have our honorary guest who's going to tell us what he thought of today's meeting, Mr. Richard Morgan.
One question. Did you just say honorary guest?
I did, with a caveat about what you thought of today's meeting.
As opposed to honorary Toastmaster.
Yeah.
Well, he's
That's my title. Even the name tag that said it. Still don't understand why I'm a guest. I rest my case.
I believe. What'd you think of today's meeting?
Oh, it was a fantastic meeting. I'm glad to be here for a second time. And I'm really very impressed with the fact that you have so many experienced Toastmasters. This stuff is very fortunate that you had more than one DTM. And I see in the schedule here, a lot of you guys got ATM and so on and so forth. I mean, that is a great foundation for especially new Toastmasters to really learn and use the tool of Toastmasters. And I compliment the technical team for giving the evaluations for all the hard counters and so forth. One thing I did miss though, we used to use a bell for all counters. And when you hear that bell, it really rattles you. And to get rattled by a bell makes you more stable and not saying, but you hate to hear it, you know, but it really works for make your own decision. Anyhow, I'm glad to be here. Come back again to visit. And I also invited Kerri, which you get to, and some other people who work out at the gym. But of course, I was in Toastmasters some years ago, and I realized it's a great learning tool, and it really helps you with your and I missed that too, improving your communication skills. Thank you.
Well, welcome, James. A member of our clubs. Corey, welcome. I didn't shake your hand. Welcome to our meeting.
How you doing? Thank you, everybody. Well, first of all, I'm Corey Williams. I'm from this area.
thanks to Mr. James Harris that I showed up to the meeting today. I was at the gym, I'm like, it was something I was supposed to do today. So I grabbed my bag and I got here. But I think everybody was well spoken. I love the way you critique each other, and I look forward to joining the club one day.
Awesome.
So thank you.
All right. We have a contest coming up, and we have our contest master, Kerri is stepping in for contest master. So start thinking about it. Here's a cell for you. It's September the 2nd, that's right, 1st, a Tuesday, at 7 o'clock.
Wait. What did you say was contest master?
Kerri Bird?
What?
Do we already have a contest master?
Well, that's that confirmed me for contest master.
Oh, good. You can take your backup.
Contest
Well,
chair.
No?
No? Because he was looking for contest chair.
No chance.
Oh, okay.
I don't have time. I don't have time.
Okay, well, how about chief judge?
I don't have to find judges. I don't have time to do that either.
All right, well, we'll
I
talk.
can
We work with me.
rules.
So
Maybe
think
we'll
about if
share
you're
it. She'll
gonna
do one and I'll do
participate,
the
it's
other.
the humorous and
What do you need
evaluation
What do you
contest.
need a contest
For those of
chair?
us that haven't been paying attention to anything?
Okay, we need ballot, we need everybody. We've got our contest master, we need a contest chair that organizes all the behind the scene work. We need a chief judge. We need ballot counters, and we need contestants. Who's gonna compete? Anybody already, we know Steven? We need contestants. All right, so think about it, great opportunity to really up the ante when you get up here and present. More to come on our speech contests. And our schedule for next week, we have our Toastmaster, Stephany's confirmed. I will be speaking, Jorge, Steven will be speaking. We need a table topics master. That's the easiest job, guys.
I'll do that.
All right.
It's gonna be a couple of good ideas.
All right. Do we know the theme yet? Wanna work on it?
There's still something out there, go ahead.
We need a
Be coming out real soon.
All right, Hadi is scheduled for general evaluator. We'll have to confirm with him. Mac, evaluator. Paul, we need to confirm. Ernst, evaluator. You gonna be here next week?
No.
Good answer.
I'm starting to feel really sick.
Ernst is an evaluator.
I'm gonna call Steven for a session, whatever. And doze off.
He lies. He'll be out.
Off-counter, we need an off-counter. Any takers? Kerri.
Got a couple of Greek friends, I'm inviting to the club
We
next
need a grammarian. Tony, congratulations. Thanks for filling in at the last minute. That's a hard job.
Do my best.
All right.
What?
You want to be grammarian again next week?
No.
Will you be here next week?
Amen. I will be.
All right,
New speakers?
well, how about general evaluator? Haven't done that yet. That's
Up to you.
yeah. General evaluator.
Yes.
All right, and we have Eugene as timer. He's not going to be here, so anybody want to be timer?
I'll take time.
Thanks, Sam. And grammarian, anyone want to be grammarian? Matt? All right, everybody, that concludes our meeting. Great meeting, everybody. Mark, thanks again for being here, and this meeting's adjourned.